What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at this week's edition of the Blue Brand, as well as the wildest wrestling news stories and rumors you need to know, including how Triple H is turning into Vince McMahon, DX member Road Dogg suffers a heart attack, Ronda Rousey's future with UFC and possibly WWE, Zelina Vega is banned from working in AEW temporarily, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Now, as always, we won't recap the show, but just provide you with the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. As always, we start off with the good, as number 1, a true triple threat. The WWE confirmed the WrestleMania match that fans have heard rumors about for weeks, the triple threat match between Universal Champion Roman Reigns, Daniel Bryan, and Edge. They all but confirmed it at Fastlane when Edge brutalized both Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns, costing Bryan what looked to be a Universal Championship win, and now it's set for Mania. While rumor has it that Vince McMahon added Bryan to the match to shake things up, it's one of the rare times when an impulsive move by Mr. McMahon has improved something. This is a triple threat match that lives up to its name, as any 3 of the competitors could win. This is a refreshing change from the past triple threat matches, where it was obvious that one wrestler had no chance of winning and their sole purpose was to eat the pin. While Daniel Bryan is looking to do the JOB, he could still pull off a win, giving fans their feel-good moment for his potentially last WrestleMania. They could then have Edge or Roman Reigns beat Bryan down the road. But whatever the outcome, this should be a fantastic match and has the potential to become one of the greatest world title matches in WrestleMania history. I kinda don't get why some people are upset by this. It's not as if Funaki is being added to the triple threat, this is Daniel freaking Bryan, he's gonna make it awesome. Number 2, Cesaro vs Seth, a guaranteed WrestleMania moment. Fans often wonder what will become a WrestleMania moment each year as various wrestlers compete on the grandest stage of them all. While we may be jumping the gun, we can't help but feel that WWE has something special with Cesaro vs Seth Rollins, a match that seems like a no-brainer in terms of building up a spectacular showdown, but which also easily became one of the most fondly remembered events at WrestleMania, i.e. a WrestleMania moment. Both superstars are 2 of the WWE's best workers, but there seems to be an unknown factor making this storyline bigger than it should be. Is it the fact that fans have always waited for Cesaro to get his big moment and his feud with Seth could become his Kofi Mania moment? This could be the beginning of a legendary rivalry, and while things could go sideways due to bad booking, there's no question this could be big, not only in terms of WrestleMania, but in terms of Cesaro's chances of a significant solo run. Number 3, a long time coming. It looks like the WWE Universe is finally getting a WrestleMania match between longtime rivals Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. These 2 have wrestled each other a number of times, and yet they never locked horns at the show of shows. While this match may seem repetitive, you can be certain both superstars will over-deliver, and there's the added suspense of how Owens will jump off the pirate ship at the Raymond James Stadium. Number 4, Tweener Edge is awesome. You think you know me? Well, apparently not, as Edge has shown he is willing to do anything to capture the Universal Championship. The WWE has done phenomenal work with the storyline, gradually shifting Edge from a babyface to a more aggressive role that isn't quite that of a heel, but definitely not a babyface. The WWE rarely books tweeners, but Edge seemed perfect for the role. His work as a tweener could be the storyline that Roman Reigns needs to get over as a heel. While Reigns' work in the ring and on the stick have been superb, his booking has been half-assed at best up until his title defense against Daniel Bryan. Now they have the chance for Edge to capture the title from Reigns and show the Tribal Chief upping his heel game even more, eventually regaining the belt and crushing Edge in the process. Reigns needs an opponent who is as ruthless as he is in order to establish his supremacy, and Edge seems to be the ideal wrestler for the role. But that was the good. What about the bad is number 1, the Logan Paul problem. Sami Zayn has been complaining about the WWE conspiring to hold him back, and now it looks like famous YouTuber Logan Paul is going to investigate it. Zayn has been tweeting his troubles, with Logan replying to him saying, "Hey Logan Paul, not sure if you were just messing around with this tweet, but as someone who knows what it's like to have everyone against you, you should 100% look into this massive conspiracy against me. It's actually pretty shocking stuff." Logan tweeted back saying, "We'll see." Now the WWE has announced that Paul will appear on next week's edition of Smackdown as part of Sami Zayn's red carpet affair, where he will release a trailer for his new documentary on the conspiracy against him. Could this lead to a match involving Logan, and if so, why did the WWE wait so long to start the angle given the tremendous publicity potential? Now, Logan Paul is a wildly successful YouTuber, which means the WWE knows his presence at WrestleMania will get some publicity. However, is the WWE going to end up turning off its core audience with more celebrities at WrestleMania? Now, while it's too early to tell if Logan will compete at WrestleMania, rapper Bad Bunny is already scheduled to wrestle The Miz, a match which could be a disaster if Bad Bunny isn't ready for singles competition. The WWE likes to bring celebrities to WrestleMania, but its track record is bad when it comes to having a positive influence on the show. To be honest, the only highlight so far is that it's Logan Paul and not Jake Paul. And number 2, bailing on Bayley. Where the hell is Bayley? With WrestleMania just 2 weeks away, it's odd that they haven't put her into a program yet, and even if they don't have a spot for her at the show of shows, which is criminally bad booking in itself, why isn't she on television? There's no excuse for not featuring her on Smackdown unless they're giving her time off or she is unable to compete. We hope they aren't afraid that Bayley will steal the spotlight from Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks if she's on television, but if you're concerned that your world champion and her #1 contender can't deliver, then you're booking the wrong match. Now, there was nothing downright ugly about last night's show, as SmackDown is going into overdrive as it builds up for WrestleMania. While Raw's WrestleMania hype has been inconsistent, the Blue brand has been getting fans psyched for everything ranging from its main event to its undercard. The fact that Otis is becoming interesting again speaks volumes for SmackDown storytelling. What do you guys think of SmackDown this week? Let us know in the comments down below. Now, let's move on to the news. Our first story looks at DX member Dogg suffering a heart attack. Here's unfortunately sad news, as wife of one half of the most legendary tag team in the WWE, Tracy Content James, confirmed on Facebook that he suffered a heart attack. She mentioned, "I want to thank everyone for the prayers and text. Brian most likely suffered a heart attack late Thursday night after returning from Orlando. He's had a test run and we're currently waiting for the results. He also had a kidney specialist and have a stress test done. He's always been on BP meds for high blood pressure. Just please pray all the tests come back for something we can fix. I'm a total wreck, but I'm trying so hard to be positive. Please pray for Brian, he feels horrible, and for God to please heal my husband so he can come back home. Thank you all so much." This is such sad news, and we hope that Road Dogg Brian James makes a full and fast recovery. Next up, Triple H becoming Mr. McMahon? Well, wrestling fans have often speculated that Triple H will take over WWE's creative department once Vince McMahon has to step down or he just can't do the job anymore. Now, recent rumors suggest Triple H is turning into Mr. McMahon, at least when it comes to making himself inaccessible to wrestlers. According to Fightful Select, NXT superstars have not been able to meet the cerebral assassin. The report also indicated that other higher-ups have been difficult to reach. It's possible Triple H and other bigwigs on the Black and Gold brand have been more focused on resolving NXT's poor ratings against Dynamite. Fightful Select did point out that Triple H has been more accessible lately, and that his inaccessibility had nothing to do with his recent quarantine. Number 2, Ronda Rousey returning to UFC? Is Rousey returning to UFC? It's a question that some fans are asking since Rousey hasn't returned to the WWE, despite speculation she'd show up for WrestleMania 37. While it remains to be seen what Rowdy Ronda has planned for wrestling, Dana White seemingly erased any questions about her returning to UFC. During the press conference for UFC 260, White commented, "Yes, yesterday spoke to Rousey, but don't even start with her, you guys. Yesterday about lots of different things, but not this. But yes, we talked yesterday. Absolutely positively not ever coming back." Well, that kind of confirms that Rousey is now retired from UFC, but at 34 she could have a long career in wrestling if she chooses. Do you think Rousey will ever step back into a wrestling ring? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, Zelina Vega is temporarily banned from AEW. Now, there's interesting news concerning Thea Trinidad, aka former superstar Zelina Vega. Dave Meltzer recently commented on Andrade and Zelina Vega reuniting in AEW, observing it won't happen right away. Trinidad had signed a deal, we don't know with who or even if it's with a wrestling promotion, but the deal she signed would not allow her to work for any wrestling company, and it was not with AEW. It was a somewhat short-term thing and the door wasn't shut on her eventually working with AEW, but it won't be anytime imminently. Someone must have been eager to sign Trinidad to a deal, and this is no surprise as Thea is a talented individual. Do you have any ideas where she might end up? Let us know in the comments down below. And finally, WWE locks down a WCW trademark. Last but not least, intellectual property law can be perplexing, as seen by the recent news concerning a trademark filed by the WWE. Wrestling News' Andrew Ravens is reporting WWE has locked down the trademark rights to the name WCW. The company did so on March 22nd with the US Patent and Trademark Office. The filing was for merchandise purposes. Even though they purchased WCW in 2001, the promotion has seen some of WCW's intellectual properties fall into disuse, with others seeking to acquire them. For example, Cody Rhodes attempted to trademark Bash at the Beach, a move which WWE opposed. Needless to say, Vince McMahon would likely lose his mind if someone tried trademarking WCW for merchandise purposes. But there you have it, guys, the good, the bad, and the downright ugly from this week's Smackdown, as well as the wildest wrestling news stories. Leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.